Boomer Sooner, and welcome into another edition of your favorite podcast, Burgers and Brats. Man, there is a lot going on in the sports world. The Women's College World Series of softball just ended. The Oklahoma Sooners are the national champions. Also, NBA Finals 2-1 lead for Nicola and Jamal Murray, and some crazy NFL news, or crazy NBA news, crazy NFL news. Messi to Miami, and then the LIV and the PGA Tour combining. Who saw this coming? We got a lot to break down and more on this episode of Burgers and Brats. Before we get started, make sure you follow the podcast on any platform, any service at Burgers and Brats, and stay up to date with the latest news on Twitter, Instagram, and hopefully you're watching right now on YouTube at Burgers and Brats as we welcome in my boy, Reed Newport 580 Smoke.
My guy, what's going on, bro?
It's been too long. It's been too long.
I know it. I know it. You caught me late night in, celebratory mood. We're gonna get after it.
We fair warning, we're both a little deep. We celebrate some wins. So this may be the greatest podcast in Burgers and Brats history.
It might be. It should be some good clips, probably.
Oh yeah. We are rolling right now with the Oklahoma Sooners sweeping the 3-game series against Florida State. 3-1. OU gets the victory. Before the WC. Oh my, it's already a I mean, it's already a tongue twister anyway, so
yeah, the WCWS.
Yeah, before it started, I had Oklahoma and Florida State in the championship game. I did think Florida State could pull out a win before this series started. Sandercock just too dominant. I really thought they should have started her first game. I think they gave up the first game, kind of like what Tennessee did. Because first game analytics, I mean, you win that game, you can't lose 2 out of 3. Or 1 out of 2, I guess the next one, two of the next ones in the WCWS. So Jordy Ball, man. She wasn't even National Player of the Year finalist.
Not even top 3. They get tired. I think they're tired of Oklahoma being up there, but she's insane.
Sophomore, man. Sophomore. Back-to-back national championships for her. 3-peat for the Oklahoma Sooners. The Grace Lyons has been there 4 straight years now. I mean, if it didn't get canceled in 2020, I think OU is a 4-peat champion.
Yeah, probably. And we're in it. 2019 lost to UCLA.
Yeah, I mean we got smacked by UCLA, but still.
Yeah, but I mean Patty's. It's up there with the UConn, the 2000s UConn teams, I would think, right? Like up there as far as greatest dynasties. Like, I mean, they've won 6 in 10 years. Is that right?
It's probably like that. Yeah, I guess their first one
13
would have been against Tennessee in 2013, and then this is their 6th. Patty's 7th. I mean, she's been 29 years now at OU. When she got here, we were playing in Reeves Park, Reeves Park, man. And now we're getting a brand new stadium next year. I mean, she is the greatest coach in softball history. Is that fair to say?
I mean, I'm gonna be fair. I know there's a guy from Arizona that might have a shot at it, but my softball knowledge goes back to about 2013. So I don't want to.
We were only 10 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to. I mean, this run is insane. And honestly, I don't feel like. I know this is a better, more balanced team, but I think this is probably the worst. I think the last 2 years teams would probably beat this team if I had to.
Even on a 53-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that just speaks to how dominant they've been for, however many years.
Yeah, I mean, you had Allo the last few years, and this team is going nowhere. This whole team is pretty much returning besides Lyons and
losing Lyons Kinsey. And Storako. Kinsey's got a COVID year.
COVID year, yeah. So this team is back.
Literally losing one starter and one pitcher.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Kennedy coming over here.
It's gonna be ugly. And I think we got like my dad just said, like 4 of the top 6 recruits in the country coming in too. So it's not slowing down anytime soon.
And I mean, whatever transfers we get, I mean, we had a few underclassmen playing in the WCWS. So
yeah,
Storako transferring in from Michigan. I mean, this is why you transfer in Oklahoma. She got to start in the final. That's why you transfer in. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, one home run, only 2 strikeouts. Shorty Ball came in after that. Put 3 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 walks, 0 yards. I mean, incredible. Both teams on the night, 1 walked each. Strikeouts, OU with 5, FSU with 3. I love Sandercock. She is phenomenal. Phenomenal pitcher. I still love you, Sandy. Total bases. Like I said before on the last podcast, FSU had 17 going into this final. I think they finished with 19 total stolen bases. They had 0 tonight. I think they should have been a little more aggressive. They had 6 total on base through the game. So, I mean, they had their base runners. OU had 14. They had the bases loaded at one point with 0 outs, got 0 runs. But I think FSU could have been a little more aggressive trying to get those extra bases. Because, I mean, it's hard to throw out in softball anyways.
I don't know. With Kinsey's.
Yeah, with Kinsey, though.
People don't run on her. They got her last night once or twice, I think. But she's tough. And she was a little bit more she was popping up quick tonight even when they were looking at it. But it's hard to, because like you said, Sandercock is a hell of a pitcher. Like she's, that performance probably wins you a game against any other team in the country that she pitched tonight. But it's just too deep.
I mean, too deep. That's our thing.
Too deep.
I mean, Sydney Sanders or Florida State had the lead going out of the 4th inning, top of the 5th though. OU with Sydney Sanders and then Grace Lyons going back to back solo shot home runs. I mean, that really did it. And then we score again in the 6th, I believe. So with
left
Jordy
a lot
Ball.
on. Left a lot on, like you said, in the 5th. We probably should have scored a couple. We had the bases loaded in the 2nd. But the back of the lineup came up clutch.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no back of the lineup, honestly, because it's all the top of the lineup.
Definitely.
For this team. So, great team, 53-game winning streak. They're going to win some games next year. So, I mean, they may hit the 70.
Yeah.
Could we hit 100? Possibly.
Man, I almost feel bad. I kind of feel like they wish they would have lost a little bit because there was so much pressure on them. Like, I don't know if you listened to the post game. I know you were like in public. You probably couldn't hear it, but
yeah, I can hear.
Everybody, like Jordy Ball, Patty, like everyone they interviewed was just like, it was such a relief to be done because there was so much pressure to keep the win streak going, to repeat. Everyone's trying to knock you down all year, but I think that if obviously you don't ever want to lose a game, but I think they would have been a lot more relaxed towards the end of the year if they had dropped one, right before the Big 12 tournament or something.
No, yeah, and I mean they had plenty of chances to do that. Like I said, this team with 2 outs, even 2 outs, 2 strikes in the bottom of the 7th, is the greatest team that has ever existed in any single sport. I mean, how many times back against the wall, 2 outs? This team came back and won down multiple runs. So this team is special.
And that's the difference between us and the second, Florida State girls were in the dugout crying with no outs in the 7th inning just because they knew they weren't getting anything off of Jordy. But, if we were in that same position, they would have been fully feeling like they were going to win the game. So it's just, difference in mindset.
Yep. Patty Gasso getting her 7th national championship. I mean, she's been 29 years. We'll see how much longer she goes, but machine's not stopping.
No.
The train's not stopping.
No.
Not anytime soon. So, OU getting the women's national championship in softball for the 3rd straight year. Why not 4? Why not 4? All right. Anything else to add on softball?
No, I mean, we said it all. Domination.
Yeah, too easy. The NBA playoffs. NBA finals.
How you feeling? I'm
feeling good. I'm repping. See, I got my Nuggets hat. I got my OU shirt. I'm repping both my teams. It's a great week so far. We'll see how, tonight, Friday night, plays out for this game. But, man, Jokic, Jamal Murray masterclass. the best player on the planet, I think you can say without a doubt now, Nikola Jokic. 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists as a center. First time ever done in NBA Finals. And Jamal Murray adding a 30-point triple-double. Those are the only two teammates in the NBA's history to get a 30-point triple-double in the same game, finals, playoffs, regular season, anytime in the history of the NBA. So I really do feel good about this Nuggets team. This Nuggets team should be up 3-0 right now. Just stupid plays down the stretch in game 2 against Miami. KCP fouling, I think, twice on a 3-point shot. MPJ just can't hit. The Atlantic Ocean is in front of Michael Porter Jr. He will not be able to throw a ball in there. That's how bad he's playing right now. Love Jamal and Jokic, so I do feel way better. I was so nervous for game 3. I mean, you're right at the end of it. I was more nervous against, game 3 than I was against the Suns and the Lakers, which I think I would pick both those teams to beat the Miami Heat right now. So, your thoughts on the NBA Finals?
I mean, I think you said it. I think you would pick a lot of teams to beat the Heat, but they're not gonna lay down to anybody. I think I don't want you to get mad at me. I think it's gonna be hard to go in game 4 and win 2 straight in Miami just because their whole they're not in the finals off of talent. It's all effort and heart.
Yeah,
Essentially, they're Jimmy Butler's willing a bunch of guys that are. I mean,
they're nobodies.
they're no. I mean, I didn't want to say it, but they're nobodies. I mean,
I will say that. I
the,
wouldn't pick
the
them. Maybe Max Strus, but
they're very overmatched, but they have been all
yeah,
postseason. They find a way to stay in it. I think the Nuggets are too much for them in the long run, but I think it's going to be really hard to go in and win another 2 straight in Miami.
uh, yeah. The Heat team have lost 3 of their last 3 home games, though. I
That's
think
true.
maybe 3 of the last 4. Yeah, so 3, or they've lost 4 out of the last 5 or something
I
like
think
that.
that
So,
yeah, I think they've lost their last 3 for sure because
yeah,
they were up 3-0.
yeah, exactly. So, this Heat team, you live and die by the 3, which Eric Spoelstra said they don't. They do. They
They
went
do for sure.
11 of 35.
I mean, that's for sure what happened in game 1. They couldn't hit a
Mhm.
3.
Yeah. And the reason they won in game 2 is because they shot 40 some odd percent from 3. They shot 31% from 3, but the Nuggets only shot 5 of 18 from 3. They're just not taking as many. They're getting inside the paint. Jokic is spreading the ball out. Christian Brown, man, rookie out of Kansas. 15 points in 19 minutes, 19 points in 15 minutes. Uh, that man is a baller. That man has championship DNA because won 3 times in high school, won for Kansas, and now possibly an NBA championship. But Miami, 37% from the field. Denver, 50%. Miami had 12 more shots than Denver in game 3. So, or
That's
whatever
crazy.
game that was. What game was that? I don't
Game
even
3.
know. I don't even know, man. I can't keep track. I'm too nervous. But
Game 3.
yeah, this Heat team, they beat the 2 best teams in the NBA. Those were the 2 best teams in the NBA with Milwaukee and Boston. New York's that was an easy win. But I think Denver's played really well on the road. They won all 3 of their losses were on this postseason. 3 of their 4 losses were on the road. 1 Minnesota, 2 to the Phoenix, where everyone kind of had a illness bug for that series, and then they swept the Lakers at home, which had not lost at home during the postseason as well. So I think Denver can go in and win. It just takes Miami having a perfect game, like they had a perfect game in game 2 against Denver. So I do like Denver's chances. I think it can easily be a 3-1 lead, but yeah, like you said, it can easily be a 2-2 lead. The crowd really wasn't into it. I didn't feel like for Miami. Did
Uh,
you?
no, and I mean, Miami's one of those cities where I don't think that even when, Bron and D Wade and them were down there, I think it was more the spectacle and people are wanting to go out after the game and, just show
Yeah,
up almost like the Lakers. Like it's more of a event than a
yeah.
sports crowd. You know what I mean?
It's a show
So I
on
don't,
there.
yeah, type of thing, especially, in the finals and everybody famous is going to show up. But um, Whereas like Denver is, just hungry like sports fans, so it's a little different. But um, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Denver goes up 3-1. I just think it's going to be really, really tough to go into Miami again and win, um, uh, 2 games straight.
Yeah, I mean, in this game though, Jimmy Butler had 28, but he was 11 of 24 from the floor. Bam, 22 on 7 of 21. That he could not miss in he really can't miss his mid range. He had a few missed shots in this game, but I mean the last few games his mid range is just incredible. I'm sitting there seeing him pull up from the free throw line and below, and I'm like, that's in. It is nothing but net. So that man can shoot, but he cannot guard Jokic.
I mean,
Max Strus,
nobody can in his
no,
defense.
that's true. That's true. Nobody can. Max Strus, 3 points, only 1 of 7 from 3. Gabe Vincent, he went 2 of 10 from the field, 7 points. Caleb Martin actually had a stretch, but I think he scored 10 straight for the Heat in the second quarter. And those were like, or maybe 8 straight, and then he had 2 points the rest of the game. So the rest of their bench, man, nothing. Duncan Robinson, 3 of 6. Kyle Lowry, 4 of 8. But the Udonis has him getting some minutes, man. Year 20, year 21, getting some minutes. So so you think this series goes back 2-2 into Denver?
I do, and then I think it closes out in 6.
All right, so we don't win on the road in this one, but then we win on the road in game 6.
I mean, as a fan, take off your, Burgers and Brats analysts. Just put your Denver Nuggets cap on. Would you rather win in 6 and close it out, or go back home and win in 7?
I'd rather go back home and win in 7 because I would not have a doubt that the Nuggets win. I picked Denver in 5 in this series. I really thought they could have done it in 4, and I mean, just stupid bonehead plays. They can do it in 4, but I think 5 or 6 is pretty. I think 6 is pretty comfortable. Pretty.
Yeah. If they go up 3-1, it's over in 5 for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Big game 4, pivotal game 4.
Yeah, I mean, those bench players got to do something. Got to do something because they did not show up for Miami. I mean, all you need is one bench player for the Nuggets showing up outside of Jokic and Murray. Hopefully, Murray can show up in the first quarter like he did this last game. So, what? So you got the Nuggets in 6?
Yeah, we'll go there.
All right, I'll take Nuggets in 5. I'll still go Nuggets in 5 as my original pick. All right, anything else? Let's stay in the NBA for just a second. CP3 cut by the Suns.
Insane. I blame KD. It's KD's fault. I don't know how, but I feel like he had something to do with it because it's fucked up. So I'm gonna blame it on him.
When all else fails, blame KD, man. It's an easy scapegoat.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, like everywhere he goes, weird, slimy stuff happens. But I did see that we're gonna talk to CP about trying to maybe spread his contract out over a couple of years, because he's making like 40 something million next year, right? Yeah, I mean that's tough because he's not worth that at this point.
No, I saw they could stretch it out over 5 years. I think was kind of the main thing, or just bring him on for a cheap thing, or he goes to the Lakers. So if he goes to the Lakers, I think that's a pretty good option. You don't have to pay him as much, and see if he stays healthy. I mean, that's a good option to have, especially with D'Angelo Russell's bozo self on the Lakers. But maybe James Harden links back up with KD.
I don't know though. You can't. If he goes to the Lakers, they can't play Austin Reeves. That's a bad. I don't like that. You got to pay Austin Reeves.
They can play Austin Reeves off the ball, I think.
No, they got to pay him. He's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, Chris Paul's gonna have to take a veteran's minimum
wherever he goes. Maybe not a minimum, but he's not worth the super max that he's on right now.
Yeah, because Austin Reeves is gonna get his bag, big bag.
Good for him. He deserves it.
He does. I think if the Lakers don't bring him back, they're not gonna be as good. No, they won't.
No, I mean the offense was running through him at the end of the year. Bron was it was weird to see, but Bron was deflecting to him.
Dude, Reeves was the second option in the playoffs behind LeBron. Reeves was the second man. He was getting more minutes, more everything more than AD in the playoffs. So Second man. Pay the man, Austin Reeves. All right.
for sure.
Um,
Were you? I'm sorry. Were you about to predict a Brooklyn reunion? I heard that right.
I hope not. Let's talk about it, but who knows?
Didn't work.
That's just
Didn't
water
work the
cooler talk.
first time. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I'm not predicting because I don't want it to come true. I don't want that. All right. Anything else to add on the NBA?
no, that's all I got.
All right. Um, real quick,
Thunder 2025 NBA champs. Early prediction.
Denver Nuggets.
No, I said Thunder. That was my prediction.
Oh, well,
Thunder.
I'm thinking Nuggets 3-peat right now. So
Okay.
I'm taking 23, 24, and 25, maybe 26 as well.
All right. That's the alcohol talking, folks. Don't worry about
It's wearing off now. I'm sober now. Come on. All right, real quick. I just want to say Messi to Miami. Come on. What is
Insane.
that? What is this man doing?
Turn down a Billy.
Yeah, like over a
Did you
billion.
did you see the deal though?
Let me pull it up real quick. I know he turned down what 1.3 billion from the Saudis.
Yeah, but the deal that he took is
You got it? I gotta
I don't
find it.
have it, but
All right.
he got like a share of because I guess Apple has the MLS right, so he got a share of the streaming revenue. He
Yep.
got a share of like a way bigger share of his jersey sales than a player normally gets. And then
Oh,
he's
really?
gonna have like ownership stake in, not necessarily Miami, but they're gonna basically let him buy an MLS team at the end of his contract while he's still making 50 million a year. So it's not like he's slumming it and to come to Miami.
He gonna be making 50? Is that the thing? 50?
That's his salary plus the
50.
rev share that he's getting from
That's really
Apple
not
and
that much
Adidas.
for
I mean,
Messi.
it's yeah. He's probably got what another. I mean, he could play 10 years in the MLS, be for
Yeah.
real, but he's probably got another good 3 or 4.
Come on, man. Chris Paul's making that. Come on. Come on, man.
That's true. But so is Patrick Mahomes, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got Messi's getting a share of the Adidas kit sales,
Yeah.
share of the Apple TV season pass revenue, and then an option to buy a stake in the club once he retires. So he's got to buy the stake. He doesn't really get it, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. So this says we'll see, I don't know if this is official, but turned down 3 years, 1.6 billion.
That's tough to do, though. But if you can,
Dude,
go in there and create buzz and build up a team and a fan base and then get an ownership stake in it once you retire, I mean, the upside is, you know, more than, but it would be tough to turn down $1 billion
I got
on a
so
piece of
much.
paper.
Yeah, I know. I got so much damn respect for this man. Unlike the bozos we're about to talk about with the PJ Tour. Come on.
Oh, we might get into it about this.
Oh, really? All right. Well, yeah, 1.6 billion. Oh, I might be taking that. I might be taking that. But if you're already worth it,
Yeah,
how many billions is he worth? He's worth a
I don't
couple
know.
billion.
Probably
Yeah.
a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's already worth the billions. All right. Before we dive into the Saudi money for the PGA Tour, let's talk on this day in history. 1934. 34.
Yep.
19, I ain't sober yet. 1934. The first appearance of Donald Duck. And then 1973, the 105th Belmont Stakes. Secretariat. First Triple Crown winner in the last 25 years up to that point. 1973. Belmont Stakes this weekend. I wish I could be live from there. They might be canceling that. I saw they might be canceling the Belmont. I mean, all these horses dying across the country right now. So, or
Oh
I guess
yeah.
for the smoke in New York right now.
Hmm.
That might be why they cancel it. But Belmont Stakes this weekend. And then happy birthday, uh, Johnny Depp. Natalie Portman recently single. What's up, Nat? I'm single too. Come on, baby. And then
That's
Michael
your
J.
boy.
Fox. Happy birthday. On this day, sponsored by Hefner Eye Care. Check them out. Located on 5757 Northwest 132nd Street. And check them out, hefnereyecare.com. All right. The LIV Tour and the PGA Tour are combining. I have been a big hater. I am Rory McIlroy hating on the LIV Tour, taking this Saudi money. And man, the turntables on this uh
Yeah.
from Monahan, ridiculous. So Live and PJ Tour now combining. That there were a ton of settlements in this class, a lot of class action lawsuits going at each other. I mean, the Saudis could, I mean, keep going at each other forever. PJ Tour, a tax exempt company. I mean, so what, a charitable organization, and they weren't going to be able to pay all these bills that they were about to receive and everything going at it. So thoughts on the Live Tour, PGA Tour combining to where the Live players can now come back and play for the PGA Tour in all their
And
events.
and that's my thing, right? Because if you want to take a stand against the oil money and you know the tradition of the PGA Tour and those guys that went over there are
9/11 money.
those guys that went over there are shitty and all this, they were bad mouthing, banishing guys, all this stuff to where people, I mean, there was a couple people that turned like Messi $1 billion deals down.
Will Zalatoris turned down $130 million. Now he has back problems, is not even playing in the PGA Tour. Hideki Matsuyama, man, I feel for him.
Yeah, like eight
Star,
hundred million, right?
I've not seen that number, but I would not doubt that. Star
Yeah,
of the Southeast Asia, man. He is their star over there.
yeah,
He could have been getting anything he wanted.
turned
Tiger
it
turning
down.
down billions, Rory turning down $600 million.
And now because that it was so terrible if they would have done it, except now the PGA went and did the same thing. They took the money and I don't know. I think that that is, for lack of a better, that's fucked. Like that they put those
PG.
guys
This
in.
is a PG podcast. We
Oh,
chill on the
I mean,
alcohol.
okay. We're we're deep enough. They won't catch it. But that's messed up, basically. That
I agree.
they talked these guys out of all this money and then turn around and they could have got the money and still been in the PGA Tour. What, a year and a half later? Not even two
Dude, it's been
years, I
like
don't think.
exactly a year,
I mean, that's,
2 years
that
maybe.
I don't like that from the PGA.
I don't like it because um Jay Monahan. Did you ever watch what he said in about the first interview about the PGA Tour guys leaving?
I didn't.
I mean, he said it was so messed up. This is what he said. He had two close family friends that lost loved ones in 9/11. And then he said, quote, "Have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour?" He said all this and then just completely does a 180 and joins Live. It lets them combine. So just a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, Jay Monahan has got to go. I mean, if you want a secret kept, you tell Jay Monahan because no one knew about it.
Yeah, on a random Tuesday, just popped up like, "Hey, we're."
I mean, the players, Colin Morikawa said, love finding out news on Twitter. Rory had no idea. I just feel
Well,
so bad.
Scott Van Pelt was on McAfee like as it was happening,
Oh wow,
and he was like, "I've been talking to like the biggest names you could think of, and literally nobody knew that this was going on. They found out when we did. Like, nuts."
I mean, yeah, it had been going on for a while. Just absolute classless from Jay Monahan, just turning the tables like that and just complete 180. Just ridiculous. Saying all that stuff about you, you shouldn't be taking the money and going and joining Live. My biggest thing is the Live players also. You leave, okay, go take your money. Don't ever come back. Don't ever stop talking about us. But they would just keep talking about how poor the PGA players were, how much they hated the tour, and um then they'd want to come back and play. I mean, even with the Masters and everything, they still want to come back and play in all the events. And I mean, now they get to. Um,
They
it
let him play in the. They just played in the PGA Championship, right?
yeah, they even let him play in the PGA Championship. So
But I think the aren't the majors not. PGA tour events, technically. Doesn't like a different company own them? That's how that
Yeah,
happens.
it was something like that with a few of them where
I don't understand the business workings of golf. I don't guess. That's one thing I've realized in the last
yeah,
2 months.
and they let them play the Masters because I mean they if they like were already finished as a top. I mean if you get I think top 10, top 15, you're automatically always invited back. Or maybe it's if you've already played in the Masters, some top percentage you're
Yeah,
invited.
there's a yeah.
But it's just ridiculous how all the players found out on social media as well. And then Rory coming out and saying, I respect Rory a lot. I mean, biggest proponent could have taken 600, 500 million and just staying saying he came out, said, if the LIV is going to give us this much money and help keep golf going, it is what's best. He said he still hates LIV, but said if they're going to fund us and give us all this money, it is what's best for golf. Which I mean, I get that. I get that.
I mean, what's he gonna say? He probably
Yeah,
wishes he would have took 600 million now.
I know. Exactly. And then it does suck for the players that are already on tour and already made the cuts for some of these other events because I mean, there's a cap on the amount of players that can make it, and now you're getting at least 20, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, from the LIV. I mean, all those great players that went, they're gonna come back, and I mean, they're still good enough to make the cuts or get into the fields. Be those
Yeah,
top players get in the field. So I mean, those lower level players are not going to be able to get the money, at least contend for the money on tour events, which sucks even more. So I hate this move. I wish Jay Manahan would just go live in his hole. Go live in his yacht. I never want to hear from you again or see you again. Never
yeah,
again.
yeah. I mean,
Ridiculous. Now there's a bill now aimed. I mean, they just put this bill up through Congress that they're going to try and get rid of the PJ's tax exempt ability because of what they're doing now and taking all this Saudi money and joining LIV. So honestly, I hope it gets passed.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you
mean,
don't even have to worry about tax exemption now with oil money like this. So.
yeah.
Anything else to add on the LIV tournament or LIV and PGA combining?
No, other than something I got in trouble for saying.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
maybe I'll still watch a few. I might still watch a little bit this weekend, but main season's over. Through the thick of it. So now we're just getting some random golf tournaments. All right, let's move into the final segment. Who we sharing our burger and brat with? Who's going first?
You got it, because I was unprepared.
I am still thinking as we talk right now.
I'm gonna give mine to Jada Coleman because um, I don't know if you watched much of the game last night because you were watching the Nuggets game, but
I watched. I think I got to watch since it
you
started.
see the catch
Yeah.
that everyone was all up in arms about,
Mhm.
which I mean it was a good catch. Don't get me wrong, and it saved them from getting run ruled, which good for her. But they were acting like it was the greatest catch of the world.
Dude, that catch was pretty good, bro.
Did Jada Coleman made the same catch today
True.
and didn't care because she did it last year in the World Series, and she'll
Yeah.
probably do it next year in the World Series. So I'm gonna give her my burger and brat just because she's a dog and she's acted like she'd been there before. But no,
Yep.
it was on her face. Like the other girl was shocked. She wasn't shocked. She was looking to make a throw down the second. Like she was shout out to her.
As expected
And
from us. I'm gonna share my burger and brat with all the women's softball players. A great season, especially those 8 teams that made it to the WCWS. It's just phenomenal. It's more fun that OU's in it that you pay attention more. But I think I'm gonna be a fan for life, even if in 20 years when OU's not that good in softball. Once Patty's retired, I'm still gonna be watching the WCWS because it is so much fun to watch these women play. It is electric. Trash talk. It is great softball. It's one of my favorite sports to watch now, I think.
yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
they there's like a community in softball that I don't think any other sport really has. Like, um, if I don't know if you've been to like a World Series game, but there's people there that don't care about the teams that are there. Like, they just want to go watch the World Series. They'll have their Iowa, or I don't know if Iowa even plays softball, but you know what I mean. Just like some
Yeah.
random team that's not even in the World Series because they love softball. And, it's dope. I think. I mean, I would put it up like it's creeping in on number two as my
What you watch
favorite
now?
sports behind football.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but just like in general, like I've been following the season since February.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's dope. Like you said, OU might not always be great, but I don't know. We got Patty's son's there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched. I know you didn't watch post game. She had her granddaughter, who I can only assume is going to be a phenomenal softball player. She's like a 1 year old baby, but you know, um,
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right for a while.
I think so too. I think so too. So yeah, show my burn with all the softball. I mean, any team could have won it this year. If there wasn't OU in the field, any could have made a case for any team, even Florida State. Had a great season. So thank you all for listening. Hopefully, just listen to the best podcast. I mean, we're a little out of it right now. We've been celebrating that Sooner victory. And my Nuggets, come on, Nuggets, get it done behind Jokic. Thank you all for listening. Let us know what you thought about the latest podcast now on Spotify. You can comment on Spotify. Let us know. And also on Twitter at Burgers and Brats and Instagram. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow the podcast on any platform at Burgers and Brats and stay up to date with latest news on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Burgers and Brats. Reed Newport, thanks again for joining us. Give out your socials and talk us a little bit about the OAKA real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely, comment, subscribe because he doesn't have me back if you guys don't interact. That's why I haven't been on in a while. But I run a platform, basically music. Just like um, kind of a media company. We cover cool, stuff that's going on in like the hip hop world. Um, it's THE_OAKA on pretty much everything. We actually just launched the sports side. I don't know if you saw that. I need to get you in the studio and talk some shit one day. Talk some stuff one day. And talk some
We heard
stuff
it
one
too
day.
late.
Um and yeah, man, so that's okay sports on Instagram, YouTube. We do interviews, cover events. We got a bunch of dope stuff going on. My personal socials are 58 Smoke on everything too. So
All right,
yeah,
Reed, thanks
appreciate
again
you
for
having me,
joining
bro.
us. Yeah, of course. Anytime. Talk some Sooner softball. Well, wait another year to be a four-peat champion. Everyone, thank you all for listening. Hopefully, you just watched on YouTube at Burgers and Brats. Thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. Boomer Sooner. Go Nuggets.